Hello, my name is Irina, and in this video I'm going to explain you how to get transcripts using IRS Transcript Delivery and Reporting add-on and generate reports for your clients. In the previous tutorial I have showed how to download Pitbull Tax Connector, which is required in order to use IRS Transcript Delivery and Reporting add-on. To make sure that your connector is installed properly, in the lower right dock, you can see a little Pitbull hat, and if you right-click on it, you will see your IRS credentials. You'll see that we already have completed the setup and we selected organization from your eservices account. If you need to update your eservices password, you can do it here and just click Save later on. So now we are ready to request transcripts. To do so, under Tools in the left menu, let's click on IRS Transcript Delivery. We get to Request Transcripts page. Using IRS Transcript Delivery and Reporting add-on, you can request both individual transcripts and business transcripts. So by default, the client you are currently working with will be selected. So right now we are working with John Smith. So that's why we see individual selected and his social security and his name. If your client has a spouse, her or his social security and name will be shown next. And if you need to request transcripts, let's say wage and income transcript for the spouse, you can change the selection and request transcripts for a spouse. If you need to request business transcript, just click on Business radio button and you can select your business from the drop-down menu. And the EIN will be populated automatically from the client's profile. So right now we're going to request individual transcripts. I'm going to select my client's name, and under Quick Select option we can enter consecutive periods. There are two options what periods you can request. You can request consecutive periods, or if your power doesn't cover consecutive periods, you can select random periods under More Options. So here you can select any period for each type of transcript. So I'm going to go with Quick Select because I need consecutive periods and enter 2009 through 2013 and select account transcript. So you can select any type of transcript: tax return transcript, wage and income, record of account, or separate assessment. If your individual client has civil penalties, you will enter quarterly periods right here on the right. And then just click Add Request. The request has been added, and if we scroll down, we will see that there is our request has been added into queue, and this request for individual clients, this client's name, social security, and what transcripts we have requested. So ACC stands for account transcript, and in the lower left corner you'll see the description of all abbreviations for transcripts, and we have requested 2009, 10, 11, 12, and 13. If you made a mistake and didn't include any year, you can easily delete this request and add it again. Remember, when you are requesting transcripts from eservices, make sure that you always select account transcript, because this is how reports are going to be generated. So reports are generated based on information in the account transcript, not in the tax return or wage and income transcript. So we can add several requests at a time, so we don't have to do one by one. So if I want to add one more client, I can select my client and select periods. So for this client, I'm going to request 2005 through 2014. And I want to see account transcript, and I need wage and income transcript as well. and just click Add Request. And I prefer using consecutive periods, and there is a reason behind why I like this option better. Of course, if your power of attorney allows you to. When we go to the reports generation, I'm going to explain why consecutive periods request is better. So if we scroll down, now we see our 2 requests are added into queue. And after that, we have an option to click on Get Transcript. You can also click on CAF check. For example, if you're not sure if your power of attorney has been registered with CAF unit yet, you can do a CAF check first. Alternatively, also you can schedule your CAF check. For example, if you just faxed your power of attorney today, obviously it's not going to be registered with CAF unit right away, and sometimes it takes 3 business days, sometimes it takes 7, sometimes it takes 14, so that you don't spend your time and check your CAF registration every single day. You can schedule your CAF check, and you can select the intervals and how you want to schedule. So this scheduled request will be done during the night if your computer is turned on. If not, the minute you turn on your computer when you come to the office in the morning, the CAF check requests that you scheduled previously will run. The same way you can get transcripts immediately, or you can schedule transcript delivery. So, for example, if you want to monitor your client's case and get transcripts like every month or every week, you can schedule your delivery. But for this example, I'm going to get transcripts immediately. So I'll click on Get Transcripts. You will see a message that it may take several minutes to process your request, and you can continue working and navigate to other pages of the software. You'll be notified once your request is processed. So that means you can get to any page, you can continue working with this client and prepare the forms, or you can do case management records, or you can even step out. It doesn't matter what you do, but you need to wait a few minutes. So we have a View Transcripts page open up right now, so we'll see that our request has been placed and they're in progress. And this is the request date and time, type of transcript, and request type, whether it's Get Transcript or CAF check, and the requester name. So at this time, I'm going to stop the recording for a few minutes and come back when the transcripts are received. Okay, few minutes passed, and now I see that transcript report for my client has been generated, and I see it by a green pop-up message in the lower right corner. So if I click on View, I get to the View Reports page, and here I can view this client's report. So the first page is the cover page of the report, and you will see that I have entered my logo, and there is a separate tutorial you can view how to set up your logo inside Pinball Tax software. And you will see the report title, the IRS Transcript Reports for the client name, and it was prepared on October 18th by me. The first report is Tax Liability Report. So here we see the client's name, the client's social security number, which is truncated to the last 4 digits. In the top right corner, you will see the date and time of report generation. The reports, this report has all periods that were requested, 2009 through 13, and it has information on the tax assessed, failure to file penalties, failure to pay penalties, any other penalties, accrued interest, total tax liability, withholdings, payments, credits, and write-offs, any refunds, And the last column is current tax due. So we see that for this client, we have the due amount $34,983.90. So this is gives you the summary of what you are going to work with, the liability that you need to resolve. The next report is compliance report. And in the compliance report, you will see whether your client has filed tax returns, what is the filing date if they filed return, what was their filing status, what is current collection status for any year that you have requested. So we see here that collection was blocked since June 16 of 2014. There is no lien filed on any of these periods. This client didn't have an audit or examination. We have established installment agreement, which is active since July 4, 2015 for 2009, and since June 6, 2014 for all other periods. You'll see that there is no indication that offering compromise has been filed for this client. And in the last column, you'll see bankruptcy or other legal action. For this particular case, we had CDP hearing, so it was resolved on May 6, 2014. The next report is estimated CSAT, Collection Statute Expiration Date Report. And this is what a lot of our customers have been asking for, and finally you got it. So estimated CSAT report will show you the assessment event. So in most cases, assessment is when your client files tax return, and you will see a code associated with assessment event. So it's 150 for 2009. You will see the assessment amount, assessment date, and then we are going to look at the tolling events. So during the tolling events, the statute stops running. So in this case, we had 3 events that toll the statutes. The first event is with Code 520, bankruptcy or other legal action, and it started on November 2nd of 2013, and it was removed on May 6, 2014. The second tolling event is CDP hearing request, and it comes with Code 971, and it was filed on November 8, 2013, and removed on May 6, 2014. In this case, there was no bankruptcy, but IRS very frequently uses bankruptcy or other legal action with Code 520 for CDP hearing requests. So our system recognizes that this is the same event because the starting date is very close to each other, and it doesn't count double tolling days. So it only counts as one event. And the third tolling event for 2009 is pending installment agreement, and it started on April 10, 2014, and ended on June 6, 2014. Then you will see number of tolling days that will be added to the statute. So in this case, it's 266, and we see that 2 tolling events, CDP hearing request and pending installment agreement, they overlap. In this case, don't worry, the overlapping is not counted, and it is reduced from the number of tolling days. So for example, CDP hearing has additional 30 days for tolling. So instead of end date of May 6, 2014, it will be June 6, 2014. And pending installment agreement also has 30 days tolling days extra. So in this case, the additional tolling days and these 2 tolling events, they overlap by 30 days. So total number of tolling days is calculated automatically, so it's 266. And if you add it to assessment date of 11/15 in 2010 and 10 years usual that IRS has for collection, you will get estimated CSAT of August 8, 2021. The same tolling events you can see for 2010 and 11 because it was done simultaneously. So they're pretty much the same. The only difference is for 2013, there is only one tolling event pending installment increment. The next report is first time penalty abatement eligibility report. And this is why I told you that requesting consecutive periods is very important. For example, in this case, we see that our client is not eligible for penalty abatement. But for example, if this client would be eligible, I would only see it if I requested consecutive periods. Otherwise, I'm not going to see anything. And in the next report, I'm going to show you how it looks when you request consecutive periods. So the first column is for year, then tax assessed, then failure to file penalties, failure to pay penalties. Then you'll see a total of failure to file and failure to pay penalties. And under first time abatement eligibility, if your client would be eligible for penalty abatement, you will see in green message eligible. And potential abatement, how much you can potentially abate. For this case, there is none, so it's not very good example. But in the next one, you will see that the client is eligible for penalty abatement. So I'm going to close my report, and I see next message for the second client that transcript report already has been generated. So we're going to view that report now. So again, our tax liability report shows all years that we have requested, the tax assessed, all the penalties, accrued interest, all the payments and refunds, if any, and the current tax due. So this is what my client owes at this time, $69,858.63. In the compliance report, we see again the data of whether clients filed tax returns or not. And you will see filing dates and their status, the collection status for the periods we requested. We see that it was blocked from different dates, from July 21st of 2014 or September 29th, 2014. This client has filed liens on his name. So you see yes for 2005, 7, 10, and 13. Installment agreement was in place, but it was terminated on July 14th of 2014. And for offering compromise, we see that it was received on April 20th, 2015. So far, this case is still in review. And there was no bankruptcy or other legal actions like CDP hearing. Under estimated CSAT report, we see that we have a tolling event for offering compromise received on April 20th, 2015, but there is no end event because it's still in review. So you will see for end event that it's open. And in this case, the number of tolling days will be counted until current date. So estimated CSATs are calculated in the last column. And finally, we scroll down to first-time penalty abatement eligibility report. And here you see that my client is eligible for penalty abatement for 2010, and you will see that we can abate $340.64. Well, the amount is relatively low, so I'm not sure if for 1 or 2 hours waiting on the phone, I'm going to start with penalty abatement. And anyway, we're doing offering compromise, so it's not that important anyway. So if I haven't requested the consecutive periods for this client, I probably wouldn't see the eligibility, because if, for example, I requested 5, 7, 9, 12, I wouldn't see whether the client had no penalties for the 3 prior years, and that's how eligibility is determined. So you shouldn't have any penalties for failure to file and for failure to pay in the prior 3 periods. So that's why it is recommended, if you want to see potential penalty eligibility for this client, to request consecutive periods. Of course, if your power of attorney allows. So this is how transcripts and reports are being generated. And if you want to compare transcripts, you can click in the left menu on View Transcripts and open any of the transcripts that have been requested. So just click on View Transcript, and your transcript will open up. So if you have filters here, so you can search by any client. So if you type in, you'll get your client's name. So this is how IRS transcript delivery and reporting add-on works. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for joining the session.